All right, hi, and welcome back to Quark's Python lessons, or whatever I named this channel. Uh, sorry, playlist. All right, so in this little video, we're going to learn about how to create the guess number game. I'm going to try to do a few Python game programs just to get my skills, build them up. All right, so first things first is we went to File, New File, and created a file for our Jupyter Notebook. Remember, with Jupyter Notebook, you have to pick the kernel over here. So select kernel, Python environments, and then pick your kernel that you already have. I did a video on this, and I'll put it in the description so that you can refer to it. And then I also created the guess the number Python file. And that's just so that when we're done working through our process or prototyping it, we can take all that code, put it in here, and then just like run it, and we'll be done. All right, so let's go back to guess the number, the prototyping for Jupyter Notebook right here. So first thing we're gonna do with our program is like, hey, we want the user to guess the number, but we need to tell it like, hey, what are the rules? What are they gonna do? So we're gonna do something like this. We're gonna be okay. Let's clear all outputs. Okay, so we're gonna be okay. User needs to be told what to do. So we're gonna tell them print welcome to guess to guess the number, and then we're gonna be like, hey, please enter a number between 1 and 100, because we're gonna create a random number that's 1 from 100, and we want them to guess that number. Okay, so play, make sure this works. Okay, then we're gonna continue, and we're gonna create a random number. So first things first, to create a random number, you need the random library. So import random, and then we're gonna create a variable and equal it to random.rand int 1 to 100, and that will create a variable from 1 to 100. And here, where it says random number below it, it'll show us what the random number is. Okay, so let's continue. So when we create the random number, now we want to ask the user, hey, give us your guess on what the random number is. So we print out, hey, f guess the number. This is pretty much the same as like print without the f, but I just did it like that. You don't have to, but I'll show you like later where it might be useful. Then we put, this is the variable for the guess for the user, and we put equals int because we want to convert the input that they give us to an int number. Otherwise, we'll get an error here, and then we're going to print out that guess. So, all right. Let's see, what are we going to guess? It's 50. We're going to put 12. Cool. Now, let's do a basic little check, and we're going to be like, hey, how do we check if that guess that we did is correct? So we do if guess equals, means is it equal to that random number that we generated earlier? If it is, I want you to print out guess is correct and then the random number that was generated. Else, we're going to be like, hey, this guess is wrong. It's either lower or higher, and then print out what the user guessed. So guess is incorrect, either lower or higher. So let's go back up here. Before we move on, we need to make sure that both our positive and negative flows are correct, which means, hey, like if the user did get that random number correctly, then I want you to print that out, and we can attest that that's working as well, not just like if it's not working here. Okay, so then let's go back, and we're going to do 50 right here. We're going to guess 50. So now our number is 50. So when we check, it should give us guess is correct and then the random number. All right, let's go a little further. We're going to expand the logic so the user can keep guessing. So we're going to use a while loop, and we're going to be like, hey, so long as the guess is not the correct random number, then I want you to do this. I want you to check if the random number is correct, and then if it is, great. And then I want you to break out of that while loop because we don't want to keep going indefinitely. That's why we have this little break. It breaks that out of the while loop. Let's say that's not true. We're going to be like, okay, well, we're going to print guess is incorrect. It's either higher or lower. And then we're going to be like, okay, well, I want to keep on like guessing, right? So we're going to tell the user, hey, enter a new guess. And then we're going to be like, okay, the guess is this. And then it's going to go back, looping back, and it's going to check if that guess is equal to it or not. All right, so let's do that. First, we're going to change our guess right here because we don't want it to be correct the first time. We're going to be, actually, no, yeah, let's do 50, yeah, because we're going to check both the positive and negative flows. So here, we're going to press play, and it's nothing's going to happen. So even if we're right about our random number, there's an issue here, and that's that, hey, if our guess and the random number are correct, then this is never gonna like go. So this code is never gonna run, and so the user's never gonna be told, hey, the guess is correct or not. And we're gonna fix that in a little bit. Okay, but now let's go back and select something different so that we can look at the negative output and be like, okay, 67, enter. All right, let's go down here. And okay, our guess is incorrect, and it's asking us, hey, what's your new guess? And we're gonna put 50. Actually, no, we're gonna put a wrong number, 42. And it's gonna keep on asking us, hey, what's the number? Because we're, again, incorrect. Now let's put 50. And when we run it, nothing happens, because as soon as we do, this while loop is wrong. I mean, it's true here. And so this never runs over here. All right, now let's go further, and this is where we're going to fix the loop. We're going to create like a random variable. We could even put like just true here or false, and it won't matter if this ever becomes false or true or vice versa. It's because like if it is true, we're literally just going to break out of it. So let's do that. Let's go back here and do our guess, and we're going to put 68. Okay, and then let's do our fix right here with a while loop. Okay, so either lower or higher, right? Guess is incorrect, either lower or higher than 68, and that's our guess. So let's see, we're not gonna be like, oh wait, no, yes, we're gonna check with 50. So if it's 50, we won't just get out of that while loop. It'll first check that if the random number and the guess are the same, and then print that out, and then get out the while loop. So 50. So yep, give us the right output. And that's pretty much it. We're gonna stop right here for a minute or two, and then we're gonna continue with this. And we're breaking it apart like this. That way you get the, hey, this is how the logic works. This is how I approach it before you put it all together over here. All right, let's take a break. I'll be back in a second.